Over the past 5 months, I have read 20 books on creativity, and in this video, we're gonna be ranking them from S tier all the way down to F tier. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Daniel. For the past 20 some odd weeks, I've been reviewing different books on creativity, and I'm now posting my last video on creativity for the time being. I'm going to be pivoting to books on business, so if you find that interesting, feel free to stick around over the coming weeks. I post a video every single Monday, and without further ado, let's get into the ranking. I'm excited. I've been anticipating this video for a good while now. I had this idea many months ago, and so I'm glad we are finally here, you, me, and the ranking system. Starting off with, can we get a drum roll, please? Thank you so much. It's not how good you are, it's how good you want to be, by none other than Paul Arden. This was one of the first books I read on creativity. I was actually helping someone write a book on creativity when I read this, and this was kind of like my gateway drug. That sounds bad. Is that politically correct to say? I don't really know. It's kind of like my gateway drug into books on creativity, and I really enjoyed it. It's full of pictures and different diagrams. I've like dog-eared it because obviously I've reviewed the book. Also, every single one of these book reviews you can find in the playlist that I've linked below. And to kick us off, this book is going to be ranked at a C tier. The reason I ranked it as C isn't because I didn't enjoy it, but because the other books that I read on creativity were just so phenomenal. And just as a disclaimer, I'm not going to be able to justify why I rank every single one of these books, so this video is going to be 40 minutes long. So you're just going to have to deal with my ranking. If you disagree with me, tough. Leave a comment below and we'll have a debate in the comment section. Now, the next book, we're 4 minutes in and I've gone over one book. This is going to take forever. The next book on this tier list is none other than Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Now, this book is a cult classic, S tier. Unbelievable, undefeated. This is all about the psychology of how you get into states where you lose track of time and you lose track of your ego and you just enjoy everything that you do. This book was absolutely phenomenal. I could not recommend it more. Phenomenal. Also, I'm going to be linking every single one of these books if you want to pick them up in the list below. So check this one out. It's phenomenal, worth your time. Next book. The next book is The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. This is another S tier level book. Absolutely phenomenal. Every single page is brimming with a sense of wonder and excitement and mystery, the way that Rick Rubin explains things and the way that he draws out creativity on a kind of a metaphysical sense. It's just so well written. It's engaging. It's thought-provoking. I would highly encourage you to pick this up. Now on to the next book. The next book is Turning Pro by Steven Pressfield. This book was excellent. It's not quite as good as his other books, but it definitely will kick you into gear. This is an A tier book. If you need a kick of inspiration, something that gets you into gear, this is definitely your book. Now, on to the next one. The next book is, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. The next book is On Creativity by HBR, which is the Harvard Business Review. Where did I rank this book? This is a B tier book, and I thought the ideas were very thought-provoking. I just don't think I fancied the format. Like little articles, they're cool, but I felt like it was a little distracting and you couldn't quite get into the rhythm of understanding the journey that someone takes you when you normally read a book or a nonfiction book. They're building on ideas, whereas this was a bit more sporadic. Unique, brilliant. I thought the ideas were wonderful, but overall, this is a B tier book. On to the next one. The next book is Stolen Focus by Johann Hari. This book was excellent, but I cheated a little bit. This isn't really a book on creativity, but I made it work. This is a B tier book when it comes to creativity. It's all about how health and social media and different things have really taken our ability to think deeply about things and engage with one another. It is phenomenal. It's B tier because it's not really a book on creativity. On to the next one. Okay, the next book I'm going to be rating is none other than Creativity Inc. by Ed Catmull. This book was so good. I wish I could have ranked this book higher. But I think whoa, it's slowly slipping. See that? Look at that slippery little fella. This is a C tier book. Now, the reason I ranked it like that, and I know I said I wasn't going to justify these, but here I go justifying them. I thought this book was exceptional, but this is more a leadership book and a management book than it is a book about purely creativity. It's about how to lead creative teams, but it was also like 400 pages. I got the expanded edition. I did to myself. But really, all the points probably could have been summarized in about 200 pages. Ed, if you're watching this, you probably could have truncated it a bit. But still, nonetheless, great book, C tier. On to the next one. The next book is Keep Going by Austin Kleon. I ranked this book an A-tier book. This is right below S because it was phenomenal. This is the last book in the Steal Like an Artist series, which we'll get to that book here in a second. But this one you can tell he really labored over. It's the last book in the series, and it encourages you if you've lost your motivation, if you don't quite know where to go or how to continue creating things. It really helps put things into perspective as to how to overcome creative blocks and different things like that. Most of these books do that. Anyways, this is an A-tier book, phenomenal. Pick it up. Austin Kleon, if you're watching this, I love you. The next book is Art and Fear by David Bayless and Ted Orland, and I rank this book an A-tier book. When you Google books on creativity, this is one of the top ones that comes up. I really appreciate that I was focused on one topic, which is how to overcome fear, the different plights and things that every single artist or creative faces whenever they're going to make something, whenever they're venturing into the unknown, if you will. And so that's why I give it an A tier. It's a great book. You can read it in a day. It's like 100 pages long, so go pick this up if you want it. Art and Fear, bless them. On to the next one. This one is an undefeated one. I can't lie to you. This is an S tier book. This is none other than The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. This is another one of the books that got me into reading books on creativity, and I couldn't be more grateful for Brother Pressfield. This book discusses things like resistance and the muse, and it helped give language to creativity in a way that I had never heard before. This is one of the seminal works when it comes to creativity. If you're gonna read any books on creativity, I would encourage you to read the top S tier books, which you can see here. This is our ranking currently. This is one of those books. It's phenomenal. You won't be disappointed if you read it. So, on to the next one. The next book that we're gonna be talking about, I could not find the sleeve for, but it is that upside down? No, that's right side up. Look at that. The next one is Originals by Adam Grant. I ranked this as a B tier book because really it's not necessarily a book just purely on creativity. It's a book on how to come up with different new novel ideas. And it's extraordinarily enjoyable, but it really does lean a little bit more towards the leadership side of things than it does just like the purely creative approach, the artistic approach to things. When it comes to books on creativity, it's a B tier book. Jeez, I'm making a lot of noise. On to the next one. The next book is also a B tier book, and it is Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. This is the second book in the trilogy that I mentioned earlier. It did kind of feel like a middle book, not necessarily like he was just trying to get through the series, but whereas the first book and the third book are really good. They draw on motifs like exercise and going outside and clutter and the creative process of an analog space and a digital space. It's really brilliant. This one I kind of felt was a little bit forgettable. Oh, sorry, Austin, but that's that B tier book still, so it's up there when it comes to the rankings. Anyways, on to the next one. The next book on this list is The Element by Ken Robertson, or Dr. Ken Robertson. This is all about how to find your passion, and he describes the element as the thing that you're really good at and the thing that you really love, and the overlap between the two. I ranked this book as a C tier. I'm sorry. I ranked this C tier because, again, I read this book in one day. I don't feel like I absorbed it the way that I should. I don't know if I gave the book a fighting chance. It was great, but I did feel like it didn't grip me the way that I had hoped it would. I've heard really good things about this book. You can pick it up in the description below, but if you're interested in finding your passion, I also feel like this video didn't get a lot of views. Like, I felt like the video I made for this was a banger, and it kind of got left out to dry, so maybe go give that video some love if you're watching this still. On to the next one. All right, the next one we have is an undefeated S tier book, and it is none other than Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. I still use this language all the time, but this book really gives brilliant expression to what it means to be an artist or a creative or someone who wants to make things with their hands or conjure up things with their mind. Conjure is such a scary word. Anyway, sorry about that. Woo, spooky. But anyways, this is an S tier book. It is undefeated. It's so good. Pick it up in the description below. We're on to the next one. Okay, the next book on the list is a D tier book, and I don't have a lot of D tier books because I am a softie and I don't like ranking things low because I don't want people to be offended because I'm a people pleaser. Anyways, first D tier book is Make Your Art No Matter What by Beth Pickens. It just didn't grip me the way that I would hope it would. But overall, it's a good book. Anyways, on to the next one. Okay, this is the only E tier book that we have on this list. And again, this is my personal rating, but it's Daily Rituals. I had a friend recommend me this book. Chad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I just didn't know a whole lot of the artists and creatives that were represented in the book. And so it became became just a slog of a read. I read this again in like a day or two, and it was just like, Daily Rituals, if you want to pick it up. It's all about the artists and the way that they create and their different rhythms and routines and why that's important. So check that out. The next book is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Now, where did I rank this book? I ranked this book C tier. And I ranked this C tier because I kind of just felt like it was a book where she sprinkled in some creativity. She does talk about how ideas come to us instead of us going to them, which I found very interesting. But really, I felt like she was talking about Eat, Pray, Love the whole time. And Elizabeth, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but you referenced it like 8 times. Like, what did you expect? She's like, oh, like my previous book, Eat, Pray, Love. On my previous book, Eat, Pray, Love. I'm like, we get it. You wrote a book that sold millions of copies. Leave some for the rest of us. Why don't you? Anyways, Elizabeth Gilbert, Big Magic. Go and pick it up if you want it. All right, so we're coming down to the last few. Here's the ranking again. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below. But on to the next book. The next book is Creative Confidence by Tom and David Kelly. They made a company called IDEO, and it's all about how to have design thinking, and design thinkers are the ones that have the confidence to bring things into the world that which were not. And it was brilliant. I gave this an A tier because I felt like the thought process throughout was coherent. I felt like it was really well written. They gave examples and stories that I'm still able to reiterate today. I was talking with somebody yesterday about this book. And so if I'm still able to capture it and I'm still able to regurgitate what the book was about, I consider that to be a good book. That's why I ranked this A tier. So there you have it. Creative Confidence, go pick up your copy. I keep saying that. You don't have to pick up a copy if you don't want to, but up to you. Moving on to the next book. All right, the next book is very controversial because this book is very highly rated, but it is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and I ranked this D tier. I ranked this D tier because she talks a lot about spirituality and how spirituality really thrusts her forward into her creativity. And that's a very interesting concept, and I do agree with it on a fundamental level. But I did feel like the book got a little repetitive near the end. It's also quite long. It's like over 200 pages. And I'm like, Julia, don't you think you could have made the book a little bit shorter? But anyways, if you're wanting to know more about the interplay between spirituality and creativity, go pick this book up. And the last book on our list, here it is again. And it's gone, and it's here, and it's gone. The last book is Creativity by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. I ranked this A tier. I really wanted it to be S tier, but I thought S tier was getting a little bit crowded, and I didn't want to give gold medals to everybody. This is A tier, like near the top of the A tier, because this is a nearly exhaustive understanding of the psychology of creativity and invention and all of those things. He interviews a ton of Nobel laureates, athletes, creatives, and he gathers data on what it actually means to be a creative from a scientific standpoint, which it is brilliant. And that concludes my tier list of books that I've read on creativity, all 20 of them. Again, the list is right here to my left, your right, my right, your left. Don't know, couldn't tell you. Not only is this the end of the list, this also concludes my journey when it comes to books on creativity. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. It was fun kind of going down memory lane with each and every one of these books on creativity. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Have you read any of these books? Make sure to comment below. I read the comments every single week. Would love to hear from you, and I will see you next week for my first book on business. All right, see you later, everybody.